Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Melanie. And this is a follow-up to understanding the decisions the narcissist forced you to make in life. And here's our story. Hello, Ollie. This is Melanie for the second video on my narcissistic parents. Your comments on the first video were spot on. My parents were very pathological toward all the children. When I reflect back on the treatment by these two sadistic individuals, it is very clear now. My mother was the puppet master and orchestrated all the roles. I was the scapegoat. The two brothers were the golden children, and my sister the lost child. She is one of the most manipulative individuals I have ever encountered. She constantly used triangulation to conquer and divide us. From a very early age, I learned she had no empathy for others. She always used the word love as a weapon of control. I'm doing this for your own good, as she slapped my face during the verbal beatdowns. Yeah, that was my mother. My mother's like, I'm doing this because I love you. How confusing to tell to a 3-year-old as you're beating the shit out of them. Oh, this is because I love you. So you equate love and violence. Now, luckily, I never did that. But you could see how some people would. This shaped me for life. One of her favorite sayings is, I can control you through my looks. And my mother's too. She's like, I could just look at you. Can you? And then eventually turned around where I could just look at her. And I could get what I wanted. Right. Meaning her sociopathic, narcissistic stare, crazy eyes. This conditioning from her had affected me to the present. I had done a lot of self-help to recover from her brainwashing. She was the inner critic for most of my life. Now I say, shut the fuck up, Carol. And I say that, shut the fuck up, Laura. I say that a million fucking times. And that's really what you got to keep doing. When you realize you just got to keep telling the narcissist in your head to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Laura. Shut the fuck up, Brian. Shut the fuck up. Try it. Try it with yours. It's very cathartic. Shut the fuck up, Brian. Shut the fuck up, Laura. Shut the fuck up, Precious. Shut the fuck up, McFaddy. I blame her for setting me up for the molestations that occurred. It was as if she wanted me to be a victim and fail in life. There was no plan for my future. I think she expected me to marry an Indiana Bubba and become a baby maker. She must have learned this from her narcissistic mother, Edith, my grandmother. She was a cold, depressive, hateful person. Typical generational narcissism. They pass it down like some kind of trophy. My mother always acted like she was entitled royalty. She was obviously the golden child in that dysfunctional family dynamics. I can remember her always elevating herself above everyone else. That included her family and children. She also played the martyr role when fighting with my father. Perpetual victim. My mother is most likely a histrionic narcissist. She always created drama and trauma for our family. I can see now she pushed my father's trigger points to create the chaos in physical fights, which is what they do, which is what the covert, because you could still be a covert and be histrionic at the same time, but you don't realize what the histrionics is about. You're causing the histrionics. She's causing the physical fights. She's pushing the buttons. The adult responsibility she placed on me was horrific. I was constantly riddled with anxiety due to the pressure of caring for my siblings and running the household while she sat on her ass doing crossword puzzles and primping in front of the mirror to go off and cheat on her boss or whoever she encountered. To go on and cheat with her boss or whoever she encountered. By the way, I hate crossword puzzles. Me too. My mother used to sit there and do crossword puzzles, drinking her coffee. It's amazing how similar they are. Crossword puzzles, Sudoku. Weird. I have to really put some thought into that one, what that's about. Another responsibility I had to do at the age of 10 was caring for my father's disabled brother after my grandmother died. I was accused of stealing a necklace by the future wife. It was eventually found. No one stood up for me. All I had was my tenacious spirit. Not even my parents defended me in the lie. Not only was she narcissistic, she was also a hypochondriac. One malady after another. Once she started... One malady after another. Once she started working at a hospital, it got worse. One surgery after another, all for seeking attention. She can actually be more borderline. I mean, borderlines take a lot of histrionic characteristics. I mean, histrionic is basically, you could sprinkle that over all the cluster Bs. I'll feed you in a minute, Axel. As a child, I learned to step in and try to save her from the violence. I thought if we could get away from him, it would all stop. Now I know she was responsible for all the trauma. She set me up to be the target for sexual and physical abuse. I am certain that something happened to me at a very young age. I knew too much about sex. I used to have a recurring nightmare up until my 30s about a man coming into my room in the middle of the night and attacking me. The other weird thing, she would parade around naked in front of her children. She is one sick snatch. She was definitely not a role model for any female on the planet. Her personality disorder has affected me to the present. She used her vagina to navigate through everything in life. She was a constant flirt with neighbors, my husbands, and any man she encountered. I remember in grade school she was the PTA president at my school. When I look back, she was very close to the principal. I can only conclude she was fucking him. Yeah. And then I'm sure she blamed you for having to be so involved with the principal, right? Because that was the same way with my mother. My mother would flirt with all the neighbors, flirt with everybody's husband, flirt with the fucking cops, and then blame me. Oh, the reason why I got to flirt with the cops is because you're in trouble so much. And like, I wasn't in trouble. I was constantly getting picked on. Only a narcissist can turn you getting bullied into making you a problem with the police because of it. So glad she's dead. I remember her getting up very early once. She had the clerical position at the hospital in Louisville. She would preen in front of her lighted makeup mirror at the kitchen table. We couldn't use the table due to the expansive layout of her grooming tools. She was prepping herself for her boss. I can still see her donning her Anna Angers boots and leather jacket. She would drive away in her orange Camaro. She thought she was the queen. Here's the funny thing. My parents' bathroom in the house in Hasbrook Heights was a bedroom that was turned into a bathroom. So you walk into what was supposed to be a bedroom that is now this enormous, one of the biggest bathrooms you've ever laid eyes on because it was a bedroom. It was supposed to be the master bedroom. The bathroom, what was supposed to be the bathroom, ended up being a huge walk-in closet. So not only we have, you have the shower, the tub, the toilet, giant vanity sink, mirror. My mother had a wraparound makeup thing because you had a radiator here with a cover, and all of this right to the door, all of this was all fucking makeup everywhere with the lights and the fucking lighted mirror and all that fucking bullshit. And when I was 14, oh fuck, man. And when I was 14, right when they were at the swinger, right when they were in their neighbor's pool fucking, and I'm a freshman in high school, what's my mother driving? A red fucking Camaro. A red Camaro. Great, Well, because in 3 years, you'll give that car to your son or turn it over to your son, right, when he turns 17. Nope, got rid of it. Got rid of it 6 months before I got my learner's permit. Always going to make it about themselves. Always. This is why you became a cop. You know that, right? Because it was control, okay? It was control over your life. It was actually control. It gave you a safety from your mother, from all this bullshit. The night everything made sense happened when an Indiana state trooper found her wallet at the Henryville Forestry. He knocked on the door and I answered. I was about 14. Oh God, it's like she didn't have an explanation why her wallet was in the parking lot. This must have been when she started cheating with her boss. My father went on to try and kill both of them. And this is how your father ended up in prison. I have to ask, I have to wonder, you being a cop for as long as you have been, I believe you're retired now. You must have ran on a lot of domestic calls. A lot. So I'm wondering, just your work experience, how much of this you saw. There's nothing you can do about it. The law is the law. Especially having the background where here's your mother cheating on your father, driving him pushing his buttons. Indiana State Police is bringing her wallet from a parking lot. Murder and violence is never the answer. But you can see her lighting the fuse, boy. Another incident happened during my graduation from the Sheriff's Academy where she hooked up with a classmate's father and he wound up wanting to marry her. He sent her a ring and her boss sent it back. I later found out she had given him chlamydia. I believe she came to my graduation to present herself as this perfect mother and feed on my accomplishments. This was prior to my father stabbing her and her boss. So your mother comes out, gives one of your sheriff's department classmates' father the fucking clap. Fucked up generation. What a fucked up. That's why you should never listen to anything that comes out of their mouths. They're full of shit. They're disgusting people. You see, 1 in 3 baby boomers has Hep C. Why? Why, you disgusting animals? Why? Because of this shit. Because you have no fucking moral compass. destroy your daughter's life, and even at a graduation where her life is good, where she's at a pinnacle of her life and success, you're coming with your fucking diseased pussy to find another fucking baby boomer to fucking great. I'm sure his father, his kid, the father, feels real great that you two have to look at each other. Hey, your mom gave my dad the fucking clap at our graduation. Awesome. Fucking baby boomers, man. After moving away from Indiana to California, I started healing slowly but surely. Getting into law enforcement helped me create a structure of discipline. I thrived in the environment and was a really good street cop. My favorite position was detective. I love building cases on the narcissistic sociopaths and putting them in prison. What really had no concept of what I went through becoming a law enforcement officer. I tried to educate her through ride-alongs. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time ever trying to prove value. Doesn't matter. You could have become, Melanie, you could have become the first female president, fucking astronaut, physicist, biologist, friggin' professional football, NFL football player, all rolled into one. Doctor, lawyer, cured cancer. It still wouldn't be good enough. Stop trying to prove yourself to the narcissist, because it's never going to be enough. The one thing is, you're building cases. Here's what I found. In 20 years of interrogating thieves, which are basically just narcissistic sociopaths themselves, because nobody's stealing for to feed their baby in this country. Nobody. It never happened. I learned, and it took me a while to figure it out. After having to break down lie after lie after lie after lie after breakdown after breakdown, after going through rationalization and pulling it together and watching how these people's minds work, you should have figured out they're never gonna change. This is who they are. This is what they do. This is what makes them go, is trying to lie and the game about it. So, like, you trying to prove anything to her, you're just wasting your time. I tried to educate her through ride-alongs at Fontana Station, where I worked as a deputy when she had a visit with me. She was completely clueless to the demands of the profession and what it took as a female in 1986 to accomplish what I did in that environment. She was just another baby boomer, self-entitled hose beast that did nothing to make anything better but herself. All she did was crank out unwanted children without the means to support them. Throughout my life, I tried to gain her acceptance as a daughter. She never acknowledged any of my accomplishments. No matter what I did professionally or personally, she could not say anything nice. She was in competition with me my whole life, jealous of me from the time I came to Earth. Once I hit my 40s, I finally realized what she was doing. She robbed me of my childhood and decades of adulthood. She always tried to present a false image to the public to hide the house of horrors. We were sworn to never reveal the truth about the abuse. We were supposed to smile and pretend nothing happened. The last time I saw her was in 2005. She was uninvited and told not to come, but showed up anyway for 2 weeks. One of the last things she said to me was, if I had to do it all over again, I would have one, two, or none, meaning her 4 children. I had no response to her comment. The Melanie of today would have thrown her out to the curb with her luggage, waiting for a cab. One starts and the other one backs up. I'll feed you in a minute. Look how skinny you are. He feels fine, but as you can see, he's getting skinny. Even though I have been no contact since 2008, I still at times want to confront her about the abuse. I went through a grieving process in counseling to help process all the trauma. They ruined my childhood and part of my adulthood. I hated the holidays for a long time. They would buy us gifts, and when the credit card bill came, they would tell us we were worthless little cocksuckers and didn't deserve anything. The degradation took a toll on me physically and mentally. They used to tell me I was dumb, ugly, and stupid, never going to amount to anything. It has taken me into my 50s to fully process the impact of all the violence and verbal abuse. I guess, Ollie, I still feel like seeking revenge on her and confronting her behavior. I know this would be a waste of my time and energy because she would gaslight my memories. I just want the old cunt to die. They will. They're all going to die. All of them. This is distracting. She had the nerve to leave a voicemail last year on my birthday. She told me I am thought of daily and she loves me and that nothing has changed. I deleted the message. Things are obviously still fucked up. The comment of no change sent me into a rage. That was the problem the whole time. Nothing changed. The abuse remained the same. I hope she rots in the hole she crawled out of so long ago. So basically got away with everything. She basically got away with everything and was never held accountable for her horrible treatment of her children. I have a difficult time recalling everything that occurred. The emotions and the feelings are still there. I have processed a lot of memories, but still feel I am on the tail end of the letting go part. I just want to know how to put this all to rest and not dwell on the past anymore. I have a great life now with financial stability, emotional support, and happiness. It's time to bury this once and for all. I know having CPTSD will always be something I cope with for the rest of my life. Any advice is greatly appreciated. Melanie. Fuck off, Carol. Fuck off, Carol. That's your best response to all this, because there's no way, Melanie, you can stop the thoughts of her from coming into your head. None. And you still have a lot of righteous anger that I don't know why you want to get rid of it. You're owed your anger. This woman hasn't faced one scrap of justice. And it's from someone who's used to putting bad people and giving them justice or sending them on the course of justice. This is what it's going to eat you up, Melanie. The cop in you is not going to be able to handle it. The sheer lack of justice. It's not realistic. You spent 2 decades in law enforcement, working your way up through the ranks up to detective. You're not letting this go without. There is no letting this go without justice. There is none. The best thing for you is fuck off, Carol. Keep talking about it, Melanie. Keep exposing her, Melanie. What you got is the ability to expose her and the ability to tell your story. Remember, she wanted your silence through all of this. And what would you tell your victims of crime? If you don't talk, you'll never get justice. If you stop speaking about your abuse, you'll never get justice. The narcissist will never see justice. Never. And you should know that better than anyone, Melanie. Fuck off, Carol. It's perfectly acceptable. So, I hope that helps. Thank you for another contribution and story, Melanie. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you guys. Without you, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.